Hey guys, it's me, Gary Lee Stanley, your sales guy. How are you doing today, guys? Today we're going to talk about our favorite subject, which is sales. All right, we got a cool subject for ourselves today, so let's go ahead and dive right on into it. What is our topic for today? Our topic for today is selling, how to overcome the fear of talking to customers. What did he say? I said how to overcome the fear of talking to anyone, to talking to customers, especially if you're a salesperson, a business owner, whatever you're trying to do, run a business, you've got to talk to people. You got to talk to customers. So how do you overcome the fear? Well, I'll be quite honest with you. For some folks, they ain't never going to overcome it for whatever phobia they may have. But a lot of times, even people who are generally outgoing, talk to people every day, sometimes we have this fear when we're in front of customers because a lot of times there may be some reasons. It could be false evidence appearing real, which mostly means that in your mind's eye, this customer may be somebody who may be very influential and you feel overwhelmed by the customer, or maybe they have nicer places to live, or maybe they have a big building or a big house or whatever. And a lot of times when we see these beautiful places, sometimes we can be afraid to think that, hey, maybe, these people, they're doing better than me, so they don't want to hear from me. Well, that's not true. All services need people to sell them. We all have to sell stuff, guys. So if you're trying to be a salesperson, you owe it to yourself to take your time and learn the craft of selling. And having fear talking to customers, the best way to overcome fear is to talk to people. Talk to your neighbors, maybe talk to people at the grocery store, maybe talk to people, because sometimes if we'll just relax a little bit and have a simple conversation with customers and not try to sell them stuff, just talk to them, offer them your services. It can help you to overcome the pressure. Now, the pressure sometimes is like, man, I still get it sometimes. I get in front of customers and I feel a little frustrated, or I feel a little, antsy, or I want to sell. That's what we want to do. But first off, we have to communicate. We got to talk to the customers. We got to look them right in the eye. We've got to let them know about our features and benefits. And if you are like me, I'm a door-to-door salesman, and I work with people who got a lot of money a lot of times, and those folks are really busy. And if they're not busy, their time is very valuable to them anyway. So my simple job is to, sometimes be, approachable. I'll just talk to them, knock on the door, hand them some information. Sometimes they have a second or two. I break it down for them if I have to. And the key to success is to overcome your fear of talking to customers, is to do it. The repetitiveness of it makes it easier. I didn't say it made it easy. It makes it easier to have a conversation, because people want to buy stuff. They want to own stuff. They just don't like to be pressured or sold stuff that they don't need. And a lot of times, if they're older, a lot of times they've already been taken advantage of so many times. So what do we do to make our customers feel like right at ease? Just be yourself. I know it sounds weird, right? Just relax, just like you're talking to your brother, your sister, your mom and dad. Customers respect that. They don't want you to be fearful of them. They want you to at least hurry up, get your information to them, talk to them over the phone or in person or whatever. They want it, hear it, and get it quick. And if you have a product or service that can help them in their homes or in their businesses or whatever, they'll be more inclined to go, well, I hadn't thought of that. Maybe I do want to get that. So if you don't always get a sale the first time, okay, because of fear, go back and see the customers, because they've already seen you once before. So if you knock on their door a couple of days later or a week later, it may not be as intrusive. And then sometimes if you do it on a weekend, it makes it more simple for the customer. So we have to do a lot of things to make sure that we sell stuff. And one of the things is we have to learn to be able to communicate. So I got a lot of videos, guys. I mean, literally hundreds and hundreds of sales videos, almost close to, I'm trying to get to 1,000. And once I do, like I said, I'll keep going. But I've got so many bits and pieces of nuggets of information that you can use by just watching the videos, write the information down, and you too can learn how to be a more competent salesperson. It don't happen in a day. It takes, a career. I've been doing this since the early 80s. It's been over 40 years. So I've gotten to see the good, the bad, the ugly, and the warts and all. And a lot of companies that I worked with are no longer here, but because I was a smart salesperson and I learned how to communicate and have a conversation with a customer, it makes it easier. And I get callbacks all the time. If I talk to a customer and I don't close it right then and there, sometimes, I just give them the information, let them breathe, and they call me. But if they don't call me, I've got my list. I go back and check it twice, and I'll go knock on the door at another time. So being fearful of selling, it can happen. We all get starstruck. I've been overwhelmed when somebody wanted to talk really, really fast. You have to mirror that person, try to work with them and be kind. So if they're happy, you be happy. If they're being kind of rude, you still be happy, but you want to try to, hurry up and get to the point. Customers want to buy stuff. You just got to get to the point. And if it's a service they need, oh boy, you might be the first person who's knocked on their doors or talked to them, and they may go with you, but it's because you have a conversation with them. People are looking to build relationships. They just don't want to be sold anything. And our topic for today is selling, how to overcome the fear of talking to customers. For me, I pray, and I've been doing this a long time. And when I first got into it, I remember starting as a door-to-door salesman. It was like I had to actually knock on the doors. And it's like a repetitive. The more people that you see, it's like a numbers game. The more people you see about and talk about your product, it becomes easier to be able to share that information. And remember, we're all the same. We all bleed, red. So it doesn't matter if they have a lot of money or very little money. If they have the capability to purchase your services or your products, you owe it to yourself to learn how to overcome fear, false evidence appearing real. I know it sounds weird, but it's very simple. And being able to talk to people, it takes practice, guys. And what I would do is I would practice your presentation with your friends, with your coworkers, with your family members, until you get to a point where you're feeling pretty comfortable. But you still got to remember, you got to get your feet wet at some point. So selling, how do you overcome the fear of talking to customers? You just talk to them. The more you talk to them, the easier it gets. Why do you think they pay us such good money to be able to sell stuff? Because the majority of people, they're afraid to talk to people. They don't want nobody to tell them no, okay? And we deal with objections, we deal with no's every day. But it doesn't mean we're going to give up on the career of selling. Hey, if things slow down or things you're not making as much money, you can keep doing it. Just keep practicing. Remember, if you're a new person getting into sales, yes, it's scary. It really can be sometimes, but I'm going to tell you what, breathe in, study, learn your craft of selling, learn those techniques of how to talk to people, learn closing techniques, but never manipulate customers. Always be honest to customers, because you never know when they could be a customer again. They may have friends, they may have family who may need your service. So if you can overcome your fear, and I'm going to tell you guys, I know it sounds easy. It's not. It takes practice. You have to work on yourself. But some of the best salespeople that I've ever met were those that were afraid to talk to people. I still sometimes get a little tongue-tied because, we all work on that mighty thing called commission, so we want to make money. So what do we have to do? We have to learn how to communicate, have this relationship with customers to be able to share our stuff. And just relax. I know it sounds really weird, but customers, if you knock on their business, at their door at the business, they may be busy. But if they're home, they're busy too, but they're a little bit more sometimes open to have a conversation, especially if it can benefit them. And my name is Gary Lee Stanley. I am your sales guy. And today we just had a wonderful conversation talking about selling, how to overcome the fear of talking to customers. Now you have some basic practical information Listen, it takes practice. Remember, good practice makes perfect. So make sure if you do have fears talking with customers and stuff, just practice, 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 and eventually you'll get to the point where you don't need to practice no more. And every time you talk to a customer, it may not be perfect, but remember, you're there for a reason, to benefit the customer, okay? And that's what we're all about. So if you have this fear of talking to people, remember, we're there to help the customer, not hurt the customer. And remember, you're important because you're a salesperson and you matter, okay? So our topic for today is selling, how to overcome fear of talking to customers. Now you know, okay? All right.